the person of Professor Yemi Osibanjo, who has been a legal luminary, and is doing nothing. He's not even talking. I don't know if he has turned to become a dumb, deaf and dumb. He's not hearing. He's not talking.
Okay, sir, talking about the Oduduwa Nation, Sunday Igboho, do you think he is capable? Do you think he is fit to be the lead man for this agitation, for this Oduduwa Nation?
Yeah, I'm somehow concerned. I'm somehow worried. See, the tempo, the way he started, I mean, Sunday Igboho, he's not sustaining the tempo. And when you are not sustaining the tempo, there is tendency of dropping back down. And I think that is what he is facing at this time. I don't know. Maybe there are some information that is not disclosed to me. Probably he may be trying to re-strategize.
What's your view about the Oduduwa Nation, the agitation for Oduduwa Nation?
Oduduwa Nation, there have been several feelings across boards, especially within the southeastern region. I mean, yes, southwestern region. And some people are clamoring for secession, Oduduwa Nation, while others are canvassing for restructuring. Over time, you can understand the position now. People, diverse people with different positions. People who are still interested in the government coffers, who are still interested in Abuja sharing formula, are still canvassing for restructuring. Why the majority who has been, of course, marginalized, majority who has been sidelined, trampled upon, who has suffered so many degrees, levels of deprivation, rejection, are clamoring for their own country. People whose identity has almost been swallowed up. That is from the southwestern region. People whose voice has been lost. People, of course, whose means of livelihoods has been almost scrapped off. You can understand the level of atrocity, the level of deprivation most people are going on. Look at the youths within the southwestern regions. Most of them, over 85% of them, resort to touts, what we call the abu, collecting money from the motorbikes, from the tricycles, from the drivers and all that for daily sustainability. You see, there is no better means of engagement. Look at the factories are down. Look at, of recent, you saw what the so-called governor or the minister of information apologizing to the world for over 8 power plants went down, I mean collapsed. In such a situation, you cannot drive a viable economy. You cannot drive an industrial hub. Most of the industries within the southwestern region have totally collapsed. People are losing their jobs in their tens of thousands, and there are no new ones replacing them. You can see most graduates have been turned out, over 6 million per year. All these indices, all these situations suggest that we are not moving forward. And if the Oduduwa people have come up at this time to, of course, decide to move forward by calling for Oduduwa Nation, I think that is the best they could have. And because they needed to build up their own future, they needed to keep their identity, they needed their voice to be heard, and they are seeking for a platform where such could be possible, and that they consider the only option is Oduduwa Nation. And I tell you, there is no other possible way for their life, for their identity, their culture to be preserved, rather than having their own country or nation, where everybody's interests could be protected. You can see what is happening. The level of in this present unitary system, it has not favored neither the southeast nor the southwest. You can see the born to rule mentality, going on within the Nigerian sphere, political sphere, which has not favored or engendered prosperity or coexistence. So under these circumstances, there is no other option than to part as separate ways, because a particular session have deemed it necessary to overrun the other group, to overshadow everybody. Look at the security architecture being taken over by virtually a particular section, the Fulanis. When you get to this area G now, area F, the boss, the police officer in charge of, or the DPO in charge of the area is either a Fulani core person or somebody loyal to Fulani governments. So, and that have not helped issue. So we cannot continue in this mess. It's a total mess, and a country cannot move forward under this situation. We have most people, look at most of course, the Yorubas has been reluctant in the struggle. But of recent, they have realized that their lives are in jeopardy. Not just their life, but their own ancestral home. They wouldn't want a repeat of what happened in Afonja, the Ilori saga, about 1824, where the presiding Oba Yoruba leader was hacked to death by the same Fulani people. And since 1824, they have not recovered from this shock. Their lands have been ceded to a total stranger, the Fulani Caliphate. Of course, being controlled by this Fulani Caliphate. So the Fulanis are looking for an extension of a way of expanding their caliphate. They make us more impoverished so that we will become more vulnerable. We become more, willing to submit to them. That is the system, the approach they are using. They make Nigeria more poorer so that nobody can confront them, nobody can challenge them. Nobody can, they have the economic power. They will still perpetuate themselves within the corridor of power, using their economic strengths, you see, and their political power. Because without economic strength, power, money, you cannot gain power in Nigeria. So the poor masses cannot outweigh them. They can't dislodge them at that position. The only way possible is through revolution, and that is what we are calling for. Not you can hear the music, not even calling for. Every day you wake up, you hear the music of the beating of revolution. It more intensifying. We are building up to a point that, of course, the political elite, we have no place to hide. Just take, for instance, the last NSAS saga. At the time, the entire political elite starts calling for safety. You are looking for a way to hide themselves. The political security personnel were overwhelmed because people, for the first time, stood up in defense of their freedom. Nobody gets freedom at the platter of gold. There must be a sacrifice to pay. And how willing you are to pay the sacrifice determines your possibility of being delivered, of being freed from the hands of the oppressors, from the hands of Pharaoh, who is bent at, of course, not letting us go. So the people has considered it the only way out. Not even restructuring. The restructuring is dead on arrival. That's the position we are now is separate, parts are separate ways, either in peace or in pieces.
Okay, sir, talking about the Oduduwa Nation, Sunday Igboho, do you think he is capable, do you think he is fit to be the lead man for this agitation, for this Oduduwa Nation?
Yeah, I'm somehow concerned. I'm somehow worried. See, the tempo, the way he started. I mean, Sunday Ibohu, he's not sustaining the tempo. And when you are not sustaining the tempo, there is tendency of dropping back down. And I think that is